Shifting our focus to now the BJP, which is raking up Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy's remark on Hindu deities. BJP claims that anti-Hindu mindset of the Congress party is out after Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy spoke about Hindu deities, claiming that there are gods for everything, even those who drink have a god to worship in the Hindu dharma. This is what the reaction is coming in from the BJP, which is claiming that it exposes once again the anti-Hindu mindset of the Rahul Gandhi's party. Take a look at the reactions coming in. Also listening to exactly what Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy said.
హిందువులలో ఎన్ని దేవతలు ఉండ్రు? ఎంతమంది దేవుళ్ళు? 3 కోట్లు ఉండ్రా? ఎందుకున్నాయి? పెళ్లి చేసుకోవడానికి హనుమంతుడు ఉన్నాడు, 2 పెళ్లిళ్ళు చేసుకునేటోనికి ఇంకొక ఆయన దేవుడు ఉన్నాడు, మందు తాగేటోళ్ళకి ఓ దేవుడు ఉన్నాడు, ఎల్లమ్మ, పోషమ్మ, మైసమ్మ, కళ్ళు కొయ్యాలి, కోడి కొయ్యాలి అనేటోళ్ళకు ఉండ్రు, పప్పన్నం తినేటోళ్ళకు కూడా దేవుడు ఉండు. అవునా? అన్ని రకాల దేవుళ్ళు ఉన్నారు.
Commenting on Hindus is really very unfortunate. Every time Congress party cannot use Hinduism just as a political toy or a source to just take out votes. Just because they want something from the minorities doesn't mean they can criticize anything. And Bharat today stands on Hinduism, which is one of the foundation to Bharat. It's not just a religion, it's the way of life. And he has criticized that way of life. We as Bharatiya Janata Party ask him to immediately apologize to the Hindu society.
And my colleague Uma Sudhir is joining me over the phone line to throw some light on exactly what Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy said and how it is turning into a political storm with BJP objecting to it.
Major political leaders from Telangana, whether it is Bandi Sanjay, who is of course the union minister, then the state BJP chief Ramchandra Rao and others have objected, and Bandi Sanjay has said that this only justifies what he had said in the run-up to the Jubilee Hills elections as well, saying that Congress is essentially anti-Hindu and that it defines itself as a Muslim party is what Bandi Sanjay is saying, and said that he had earlier also warned, saying that if the people went with the Congress, then Hindu religion in that sense would be in danger. So the state BJP chief has in fact asked for protests to be conducted tomorrow across the state because of this tendency of the chief minister to insult the Hindu gods. The BRS has also reacted, saying that it has now become very fashionable for leaders like Revanth Reddy to actually mock Hindu religion and that this is wrong on his part. So this is a comment that is made during an event by the Chief Minister where he is saying almost in a light-hearted manner, saying that there are about 3 crore gods and a god for every occasion, whether it is he's saying that for the unmarried it is Hanuman, and for those who are married twice it is some other god, those who drink, those who eat meat or chicken, and those who eat papu, which is dal as well. There are gods of every kind, and he was trying to explain, saying that there is a lot of variety in this existing, but this has become politically controversial with the BJP now asking for protests across the state.
Absolutely, Uma ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us. This is not the first time, viewers, the BJP has claimed Sanatan slander by opposition. It has been a habitual thing. Let's move on. Focusing now on the Parliament showdown after unrelenting protests by opposition demanding a debate on the special intensive revision exercise being conducted by the Election Commission, the government has finally conceded to a debate on the larger topic of electoral reforms in Parliament after discussion on Vande Mataram. The concession by the government to have a discussion on electoral reforms could finally give way to functioning of the Parliament and negate the threat of a winter session washout due to this issue, as the opposition had been protesting against it, demanding a proper discussion in the House. Listen in.
कल भी हमने अनुरोध किया, आज मैं फिर से करना चाहता हूं। देश में कई मुद्दे हैं, किसी भी मुद्दे को हम छोटा नहीं मानते हैं, लेकिन संसद नियम से तरीके से चलते हैं। एक मुद्दे को लेकर के बाकी मुद्दों को आप दबा नहीं सकते। इसलिए इस सदन में कई पार्टी से छोटे छोटे पार्टी के सदस्य भी हैं, एक एक पार्टी के एक सदस्य का भी यहाँ मेंबर है। सबका बात सुनना चाहिए। 2-4 पार्टी मिलकर के संसद को आप ठप करेंगे, ये बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है। चुनाव में हार जीत होता है, थे, लेकिन हारने से बौखलाहट होकर के गुस्सा आप यहाँ पार्लियामेंट में आप पूरा निकालेंगे, ये तो ठीक नहीं है। यहाँ देश के मुद्दों को लेकर के चर्चा करने के लिए हम सब आए हैं। मैं फिर से कहना चाहता हूँ, आप ऐसे हरकतें करने की वजह से जनता का विश्वास आप खोते जा रहे हैं। मैं आश्वासन देता हूँ, चाहे इलेक्शन का रिफॉर्म्स हो, कोई भी मुद्दे हैं, हम पीछे नहीं हटेंगे। देश का कोई भी मुद्दा हम चर्चा के लिए तैयार है। हमने कुछ प्रमुख अपोजिशन लीडर्स को बुलाया है। मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि ये अभी तक जो हंगामा किया है वो ठीक नहीं है, आगे और ना करें, इसका मैं अपील करता हूं। और मैं अपोजिशन के लीडर से बात करने के लिए पेशकश किया हुआ है और वो आने वाले भी है। हम बात करके कोई रास्ता हम निकल करके सबका बात हम सुनेंगे, आपका भी बात हम सुनेंगे, सरकार का भी आप सुनना है। लेकिन यहाँ नारेबाजी लगा करके जो आप लोगों ने दृश्य पेशकश किया है, ये ठीक नहीं है। इसलिए मैं आपसे अनुरोध करता हूँ कि आप संसद का गरिमा को बनाए रखें और चर्चा के लिए हम लोग तैयार हो जाइए।
SIR is going fast and nearly 12-13 people have died and BOL 28 people have died. Sir, this is an urgent matter to save democracy.
You put your words. I will ask the government to respond.
I want discussion should take place now only, and in the interest of democracy, in the interest of citizens, in the interest of the country. Whatever the agenda or whatever the agenda is put before the House, it should get priority over 267. 267 says that all other issues should be kept aside and first preference should be given to 267 discussion. That is important. That's why we request, sir, you give us permission to start discussion on 267, that SIR, and we are read.
More than 14 opposition parties want a discussion on a particular issue because people are dying because of SIR, suicides.
Now, the centre has clarified that the Sanchar Sathi app could be deleted by the user from their mobile phones, adding that the government's job was only to introduce this app to everyone. The clarification came after a massive political row erupted over the government's diktat to makers to pre-install the app in mobile handsets. Now, the opposition had flagged the serious privacy concerns over the move, likening it to Pegasus and calling it a snooping app by the government. A day before, the Department of Telecommunications pre-installed the Sanchar Sathi app on devices sold in India. A directive was given, calling it a move towards strengthening cybersecurity and curbing the IMEI misuse. Sample the reactions coming in.
अगर आप इसको अपने फोन पे रखना चाहते हो तो रखो, अगर आप इसको डिलीट करना चाहते हो तो डिलीट करो। जिस तरीके से, उदाहरण के तौर पर, आपके फ़ोन पे जब आप फ़ोन खरीदते हो तो उस पर कई ऐप्स आ जाती हैं, जैसे गूगल मैप्स भी आ जाता है। अब आपको गूगल मैप इस्तेमाल नहीं करना है तो आप डिलीट कर लो। अगर आपको संचार साथी इस्तेमाल नहीं करना है तो डिलीट कर दो।
इसका मतलब ये ऑप्शनल है सर?
ऑब्वियसली डिलीट कर सकते हो आप। ये कस्टमर प्रोटेक्शन की बात है और हर भ्रम को मैं तोड़ने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ। आपको डिलीट करना है तो आप डिलीट कर दोगे। आप कोई मैंडेटरी नहीं है। आप अगर रजिस्टर नहीं करना चाहते, मतलब कि उदाहरण के तौर पे इस ऐप का उपयोग नहीं करना चाहते तो रजिस्टर मत करो।
संचार साथी ये जो ऐप है ये आपके मैसेजेस नहीं पढ़ सकती है। संचार साथी कैन नॉट रीड योर मैसेजेस। संचार साथी आपके कॉल नहीं सुन सकती है। संचार साथी कैन नॉट लिसन टू योर कॉल्स, आइदर द कॉल्स दैट यू रिसीव और द कॉल्स दैट यू मेक। संचार साथी आपके निजी डाटा तक, पर्सनल डाटा तक नहीं पहुंच सकती है। संचार साथी कैन नॉट रीच योर पर्सनल डाटा, कैन नॉट ब्रीच योर पर्सनल डाटा. मैसेज नहीं सुन सकती, कॉल नहीं सुन सकती, पर्सनल डाटा ब्रीच नहीं कर सकती है.
You're calling it a snooping app, so you know what it is then. Well, you said snooping app, so it is a snooping app. I mean, clearly, it's ridiculous. Now, where else do they want to, I mean, citizens have their right to privacy. Even all of you must be having a right to privacy to send your own messages to family, friends, without the government looking at everything. It's not just one thing. It's not just snooping on the telephones. It's overall. They are turning this country into a dictatorship in every form. You ask me every day why Parliament is not functioning. It's not functioning because they are refusing to talk about anything. So it's very easy to blame the opposition, but the fact is they are not allowing any discussion on anything, and that is not democracy.
Sanchar Sathi, yesterday on night itself, I have reacted. It's an attack on privacy of the common people of this country. So actually, basically, this is an attack on constitutionality.
This is Orwellian. This is Big Brother wanting to get into your private life. A smartphone is no longer just a phone to make calls. It is a repository of all your memories, of all your private conversations, of data, of information. The government wants to get into that. This is a complete invasion into your personal and private space. Democracies don't behave like this. Free societies don't behave like this. This is an assault on individual freedom and liberty. I mean, has this government suddenly come up with a tool which is completely which no other country has come up? The only other country which is using this kind of a tool is Russia. This is like basically installing Pegasus in everybody's phone.
Sanchar Sathi app. Is it safe or is it snooping on you? Let's clear the air. The most popular question is asked by the viewers is the app mandatory? The government says one can use, delete, uninstall the app whenever you like. The other thing that is on everybody's mind is if the app is accessing my data, my messages, my calls. But the government has clarified saying that the app cannot access your messages, your calls. The other thing that is on everybody's mind is will it collect data in the background when you're not using the app? Will the data collection be done by the app? The government says no, there is no background tracking by the app. How will it help me if I lose my phone? The government says you can report stolen phones on your app immediately, effortlessly. The next thing that is troubling everyone is if it is a pre-installed app, which as per the government is that in the new phones you'll be getting pre-installed apps, and will it raise my privacy concerns even more? The government says that your app will only function once you register, log in using your mobile number. The other thing, how will the app protect me as a user? The reporting of fraud calls, avoiding IMEI duplication by frauds will help in reducing the number of cyber crimes that are taking place. Now, will it share data with third party? My data being leaked to some other party that I do not give my consent to. The government says no data extraction and passive monitoring is being done by the Sanchar Sathi app, making it very safe and secure for the user. No red carpet for Rohingyas in India. The Supreme Court has said this loud and clear. Chief Justice of India, Surya Kant, while hearing a habeas corpus petition seeking deportation of Rohingyas via legal process, took a sharp stand on Rohingyas in India. CJI asked that when the Rohingyas do not enjoy legal status by India, then why is there a need to roll out a red carpet for them? Hence, what is the problem in sending them back? But the opposition meltdown continues as Rohingya sympathizers cry foul over CJI's comment. Not just that, the TMC MP Kalyan Banerjee went one step ahead and insulted the constitutional post, saying that judges should not speak much. It is a loose comment by the CJI, and CJI Surya Kant is just chasing TRP, that is popularity, by giving such remarks and such observations. The Congress, on the other hand, labelled CJI as the stooge of Bharatiya Janata Party and the Sangh. The BJP, however, came down heavily on the opposition, calling out their attack on CJI as just another vote bank Rajniti tactic. Sample the reactions.
हम एक बात बोलूं, जो सब जज को कोई लूज कमेंट करना नहीं चाहिए। पहले जो था हमारा इंडियन जुडिशियरी में, जज लोग कम बात करते थे और जजमेंट के जो बोलना है वो बोलते थे। अभी क्या हो गया, पूरा टेंडेंसी बदल गया। आजकल जज लोग ज्यादा बात करते हैं टीआरपी बढ़ाने के लिए, जजमेंट नहीं देते हैं। दैट इज ऑल डिफिकल्टी।
All lines and limits have been crossed by the TMC, which has now attacked even the Chief Justice of India and Supreme Court, when the Chief Justice of India has said that Rohingyas can't be given red carpet, something that Mamata Banerjee endorsed in 2005. Now Kalyan Banerjee says that the Chief Justice of India's comment is for quote unquote, it is a loose comment, it is for TRP. Actually, it is not for TRP. It is your VRP, vote bank rating point. Kalyan Banerjee has crossed all limits in the vote bank rating point. He is the same one who had made mimicry of the former Vice President and had mocked the position of the Vice President of India.
The Prime Minister's office complex will be named as Seva Tirth, in line with Citizen First governance. Seva Tirth will be a workplace designed to reflect the spirit of service and where national priorities are shaped. The new complex, which is in the final stages of completion, was earlier known as the Executive Enclave under the Central Vista Redevelopment Project. Besides the PMO, the Executive Enclave will also comprise of offices of the Cabinet Secretariat, National Security Council and others. This will be a venue for high-level talks with visiting dignitaries. But the opposition has hit out at the government for this move and said that name change doesn't substitute for governance. Sample the reactions.
मैकाले द्वारा किए गए उस अपराध को 1835 में जो अपराध किया गया, 2035 10 साल के बाद 200 साल हो जाएंगे। और इसलिए आज आपके माध्यम से पूरे देश से एक आह्वान करना चाहता हूं। अगले 10 साल में हमें संकल्प लेकर चलना है कि मैकाले ने भारत को जिस गुलामी की मानसिकता से भर दिया है, उस सोच से मुक्ति पाकर के रहेंगे। 10 साल हमारे पास बड़े महत्वपूर्ण है।
नाम बदलने से कुछ नहीं होता। सवाल यह है कि 2014 में जब माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इस दफ्तर को संभाला था, उस समय डॉलर के मुकाबले पे रुपए की हैसियत क्या थी और आज क्या है। सवाल यह है, उस समय महंगाई के नाम पर डीजल, पेट्रोल, गैस से लेके जितनी भी जरूरत की चीजें थी 14 में, आज वो कहां हैं। आज सवाल प्रधानमंत्री जी से यह है कि जब वो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री बने थे या उस समय चुनाव में आए थे 13-14 में, तो उन्होंने कहा था कि 100 दिन के अंदर स्विस बैंक का सारा पैसा आएगा, सब गरीबों के खाते में 15 लाख पहुंचेगा। तो आज सेवा तीर्थ से सवाल ये बनता है कि आखिर 11 साल में कितना आया। नाम बदलना कोई बड़ी चीजें नहीं है।
Slipping into a very quick break, don't go anywhere. After the break, we will tell you how and what is happening in Pakistan. More breaking news coming in at this point as PTI, the Pakistani Tehreek-e-Insaf Party, has just put out a post claiming that Alima Khan has announced the family's next plan of action after meeting former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan in jail. The family claims that Imran Khan is in great distress. The family will now sit outside Adiala every Tuesday and will not move until 6 family members and 6 lawyers are allowed to meet him. Let's also listen into what she said more as we have the reaction coming in, and then we'll take a reporter live.
आज जो हमने, जब मेरी बहन ने आके हमें बताया है कि वो कितने अपसेट थे, तो अब हम जो हमारा अपना लायमल ये है कि अब ये एक मेरी बहन को ये तमाशा बंद होगा। हम यहीं बैठेंगे हर मंगल को और जो पार्टी वाले हैं वो बैठेंगे जुमेरात वाले दिन, जब तक बहाल नहीं करते जो कोर्ट ऑर्डर्स हैं जो 6 लोगों के, अगले हफ्ते मंगल को हम इनको पैगाम दे देते हैं जेल इंतजामिया को कि 6 जो फैमिली मेंबर्स हैं वो मिलेंगे और 6 वकला मिलेंगे.
And my colleague Pradeep Datta joins us on the broadcast. Pradeep, do tell us about what is happening with Imran Khan. Is he alive? Is he okay inside the jail? As the family claims he is in great distress and he's alive.
Yes, earlier today, Imran Khan's sister Azima Khan was allowed to meet him inside Adiala jail. The moment she came out of jail, reporters asked her how was the condition of Imran Khan. She said that yes, he is fine, but he is being mentally tortured and he's in a solitary confinement. There is hardly any interaction. So now family has announced a program. They are saying that every Tuesday they will be sitting outside Adiala jail because they will pressurize the government to ensure that all the 6 family members, including the 6 lawyers, are allowed to meet Imran Khan. They are saying that if they think that by silence they are going to break them, this is only going to strengthen their resolve because they feel only full access is going to bring an end to injustice to what is being meted out to them. Because for the last 3 weeks, we have seen that the family member had been insisting that they should be allowed to meet Imran Khan. It all started when all of a sudden the rumor spread that Imran Khan has died inside custody, and that led to widespread protest. And finally, the family members and his well-wisher and the party members, they decided to mobilize outside the Adiala jail, and government had to just come under pressure, and Uzma Khan was allowed to meet her brother inside a jail, but she was not happy after seeing the condition of Imran Khan. Family members are saying that he is in distress. He is kept in solitary confinement. He is not allowed to interact with any person, and he is being mentally tortured. So they want that they should all get access and they should be allowed to meet him, because we have seen that the government had been preventing them from meeting. They were not even allowing any kind of a phone call, and his condition had been worsening inside the jail. That's what actually the family members are saying. So now every Tuesday they'll be sitting outside Adiala jail till all the 6 family members are allowed to meet. Not only that, but the PTI will continue with the protest every Thursday. So sit-in protest will be continuing. This is the future course of action that they have announced. Because
Thank you so much, Pradeep, for giving us those details and joining us with more news. Now, actor Samantha Ruth Prabhu and director Raj Nidimoru have taken the social media by storm by announcing their marriage. Take a look at our report.
She was radiant, but it was the ring that stopped the internet. Samantha Prabhu's vintage portrait-cut diamond wedding ring has now become the most talked-about piece of celebrity jewelry online. Vintage designs carry a touch of old-world romance. Samantha's ring, with its portrait-cut diamond, is a nod to centuries-old craftsmanship. And behind this jewel is a quietly brilliant creator, Athens-based designer Theodoros Savvopoulos, a jeweler who's as rare as his pieces. According to A to Z, Theodoros operates almost entirely under the radar, producing a very limited number of one-of-a-kind jewels each year. His clientele, an exclusive circle of collectors and connoisseurs drawn to his contemporary gem-focused designs that spark both curiosity and fascination. The star of Samantha's ring is the portrait-cut diamond, a style with deep roots in Indian history. One of the earliest diamond cuts, it rose to fame during the Mughal era. Alongside this exquisite ring, Samantha's bridal look itself was a masterpiece. A ring designed in Greece, a diamond cut born in India, and a bridal look rooted in tradition. Samantha's wedding jewelry is being celebrated for its elegance and heritage blend. NDTV Bureau Report.